まあとにかくやる気はねえだろ。ビシッと300万稼ぎ出してやろうじゃねえか。海の家だろうが勝利自体はどうってことない。
でも接客は大変かも。
問題ねえ。どんだけ客が来ようが俺がさばいてやる。
ノルマ達成したらビーチで遊んでもいいのかしら。
そして使う海の家はあれです。
廃屋じゃねえか。
Hello everybody, Megazard X here, and for today I am giving y'all my first episode review over the brand new anime series that I'm going to be reviewing for the spring anime season, and that is none other than Food Wars the 5th Play, aka the 5th season and what will be the final season of Food Wars. And I'm going to be here today going ahead and reviewing episode 1 called Final Exams. Now this whole entire episode, man, that brought back so many good feels. And honestly, it wasn't, we hadn't had the season 4 not too long ago. Like, we're here in the spring anime season, and, that anime season aired like 2 seasons ago back in the fall. So, I mean, like, it hasn't been, too long or whatever, though. But honestly, I don't know. It may just be me, though. But honestly, personally, I really enjoy Food Wars. You might say it's because of the fan service, or you might say it's because of the insane cooking or whatever though. Or you might just say, hey, you know what, I just have a personal attachment with these characters between Soma and Arena. Oh man, that ship though. But man, it's just something about Food Wars. And you wouldn't honestly think that a show about cooking food in an anime kind of sense would make sense though. But when you sit down and watch it, it actually does. So honestly, man, there's a lot I have to go through and talk about within this episode review. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight up into this episode 1 review of Food Wars the 5th Play. Now enjoy this brand spanking new hot take intro. 'With the battle against Central finished and Arena installed as the next head of the school, things are back to normal at Totsuki for whatever that's worth. The first semester has just ended, and that means that it's time for finals, with this year's challenge being to run a series of beachfront restaurants that the school has leased, with a minimum requirement profit of 3 million yen. Oh, and did I mention they only have 3 days to do this, which in the back of my mind as I was watching that episode, that just sounded crazy to my ears though. And since Soma and his other second year buddies from the Elite 10 are given the worst looking restaurant on the beach, they'll have their work cut out for them in order to make the grade. And that's not even factoring in Mr. Suzuki, the new instructor, who seems just a little bit too obsessed with Soma for his own comfort. Now, honestly, oh gosh, I have a lot to say about this brand new dude that's showing up in the series though, but I'll talk about that here a little bit later within my review though. Now, the first thing I have to mention and get off my chest is my original thoughts going into this final season of Food Wars, because if you've been keeping up with the manga, or if you have friends that are keeping up with the manga, some people sort of kind of felt iffy with the ending though, and I'm not going to spoil anything right now though, because I've been only watching the anime myself though, so I'm in with the long haul along with all the rest of y'all that was watching this series as well though. But some people really didn't honestly like some of the kind of the relationships that certain characters within Food Wars had, or potential the past where their careers could potentially take some of these characters on to once the whole story is being concluded or whatnot though. So I'm really hoping and cross my fingers, if it's as bad as some people are actually saying it is, I'm just hoping for an anime original ending though. At least please, like JC staff, give it to us though, because I definitely don't want to be invested in this series for like 5 whole seasons and you're telling me that, oh man, the author just somehow kind of messed this up and it didn't end well though. But here's hoping, based upon my perceptions of how well this first episode was handled, there's probably a little bit of hope that, maybe the season 5 will leave a sort of kind of better taste in our mouths compared to what the manga actually did. But if you ignore what's on the page and simply focus on this particular episode, it's a decent way to reintroduce us to the cast and concept. It's got all of our major players in their new roles, a ridiculous cooking challenge, and a new bad guy with resting with a resting evil face. And of course, them good looking girls, them sweet, fine, good looking girls. Okay, I ain't gonna go too far into it though, but y'all can read between the lines with that though. But what it doesn't have, sadly, is much actual cooking. Although I suppose that, you know, it relieves it of it needing to explain like how shirtless cooking is a good idea when many of the items involve frying of one kind or another. Since the Elite 10 group has been split up to the far end of the beach in a dilapidated shack, they had a lot of ground to make up, and it feels they should have gotten more screen time, especially since the group has such a variety of cooks and different specialties and skills. It's very nice to see that at least part of that being considered in their strategy, with Soma and Aldini and Rio doing the bulk of the actual cooking as the ones with experience in restaurants, and Megumin as the super hostess also makes sense. Now, whether Alice is more than just dead weight, however, isn't sufficiently explained. And honestly, let's be honest, you know, Alice for the most part of this episode was honestly, you know, dead weight, considering the matter of fact that for a lot of parts of this episode when they were trying to go back through and kind of rebuild up the shack for the first 2 days so they can make all the profit stuff on that third day, yeah, she was just kind of following behind Rio and was like, oh, you know what, yeah, you know what, I'm rooting for you and all of this stuff. And I was like, man, that girl was just really, honestly, gosh, she was just avoiding a lot of work though. Although we do get to see glimpses of what their secret ingredient was that they put into the soft-boiled egg that caused, you know, a great aroma to help woo in the customers, in which Alice may have had, you know, a little bit of play in and had a little bit of help in terms of, you know, just a group effort in order to kind of, you know, come up with that idea though. So maybe she did kind of put a little bit of something behind that though. We also get to see glimpses of the other Polaris kids' work and how their special talents help them out, which is a nice bit of detail, even if poor Nekumi seems to exist in this episode solely for the sake of fan service using her assets. The one thing that I appreciate is how Arena has softened up quite a bit, and that's both positive and logical. While she almost feels like a completely different character, I think that helps play into all of the character growth and development that she has received within the past 4 seasons. And now I gotta go ahead and talk about this brand new character that's introduced for this brand new 5th season, and his name is Sookie. And right off the bat, from the moment that dude laid eyes on the Soma, I knew this man was up to no good. He might not be morally bad as, you know, as Arena's old father, you know, her old man or whatever though, but shoot, this dude right here, I don't know, man. I just don't have a good vibe about him. I mean, the way how he sort of kind of looks at Soma, looks like he could be like an interesting rival for him or whatever though. It might be a rival, it might be the rival on the wrong side though, because even when, you know, someone was talking to Arena up on that, up on, you know, on a balcony or whatever though, man, this dude was down in the bushes, just sort of kind of had his back up against the wall, sort of kind of eavesdropping in on their conversation, man. I'm like, man, you just don't go around doing that mess. And I'm like, man, if this dude managed to squeeze his way up in between Soma and Arena like this, I'm not gonna forgive this, man. I ain't gonna forgive this author either for introducing this character though, because right off the bat, I don't know about this man. Apparently, you know, he's an instructor, and, you know, most first-year students, or, you know, sort of kind of, you know, they tend to fawn over him because he's a really good teacher. It's really easy for them to be able to learn underneath him though. So I don't know, I'm just getting some weird kind of mixed vibes about this dude. So Suzuki, you better not mess up this season for me, man. You hear me? All right. Now the final moments of the episode introduce us to the next big challenge for the gang, the Blue, a special youth cooking competition brought up by Dojima, and the very one Soma's dad was supposed to have participated in once upon a time. That gives it a special significance for Soma and Arena, but it also may mark the shift in the show from daddy issues to mommy issues, and both Soma and Arena mentioned their mothers, and it was after the Blue fiasco where Joichiro met Soma's mom. It's not entirely sure how this story will pan out, but there are definitely answers for some of the story's questions coming up, whether you like them or not, that will help explain the whole entire story and try to bring this story to a conclusion. So that is about all that I have for y'all for this first episode review over Food Wars: The Fifth Play. But y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below what all did you thought about this episode. Was it really good, kind of kickstart? just kind of, starting back up, reintroducing all the characters that we all, learned to, love and grow with and everything else. And you know what? How do y'all feel about that Suzuki guy? Because I already told y'all, what I thought about him though, but I don't know. There's just some kind of bad vibe about this man that I don't know. I just can't trust this man though. And what are y'all overall thoughts about the blue competition that's coming up? That's for all of these young chefs for them to be able to gain some, worldwide fame and whatnot though. And how do you think, how the rest of our main cast of characters are going to potentially do and fare within this new competition though? But let me know what all you thought about this episode down in the comment section down below though. But that's pretty much it for this review, y'all. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.
君たちに一刻も早く知らせたいことがあってな。
なんすか？
ザ・ブルー。若き料理人たちがワールドクラスの名声をかけて競い合う大会。しばらく開催が見送られていたが、この度急遽概要と出場枠が決まった。
親父が出るはずだった。あのブルーが。